Interested in a delicious dessert that takes only 4 ingredients? Me too! Let's make chocolate mousse. So with only 4 ingredients, it's really important that those ingredients be of the top quality. So I'm going to use a chocolate that's at least 70% cocoa, but no more than 85% cocoa. That gets a little bitter. First things first, we're going to melt this chocolate. Now melting chocolate, you have to be careful because if it gets too hot, it can burn or it can seize up. So I'm going to put a little bit of cream in with my chocolate, just about 1/4 cup. Don't use your chocolate chips for this recipe. There's only 4 ingredients. Chocolate's super important. Go and buy yourself some good chocolate. We're going to let that melt over simmering water just until it's nice and creamy, and then we're going to take it off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. So let's separate our eggs. Now it's really important that the egg white has no egg yolk in it at all, so we're going to pay special attention when we're separating these eggs. It's just to pour the egg into your hand with your fingers slightly apart, let the white drip down, and then put that yolk into a separate bowl. All right, so we're going to whip these egg whites to soft peak stage. I'm going to use a KitchenAid hand mixer for this. You can use a whisk by hand if you want, but it will take a lot of arm work, so this makes it really, really easy. Okay, so soft peak form is when you dip your beaters into the egg whites, you turn it upside down, it should look sort of like a chocolate kiss. That's soft peak stage. You don't want to go beyond here. Now though, we're at the very end, we're going to add just a little bit of sugar just to sweeten it up, and really it all depends on what chocolate you use. Okay, next step is to beat the cream. We refrigerated our bowl and we kept the cream really cold because that is key to whipping cream. Okay, the cream's going into our cold bowl and I'm gonna beat this up again also to soft peak. You don't have to change your beater in between this, it's okay, as long as you remembered to do the egg whites first, cream second. Okay, now you don't want to overbeat your cream either, and it can happen really, really quickly and easily. You want to get to that soft peak stage. Again, dip that beater in there, and you should see that sort of chocolate kiss look there. The tip should just want to be falling over a little bit. So let's check in on our chocolate. We're coming over here, we're going to stir it and make sure it's all melted nicely, and take it off the heat. Now's when we want to have that cool a little bit because we don't want to incorporate our whipped ingredients to the hot chocolate. So let's transfer it to another bowl and let's stir it around that cool bowl. That will help it cool just a little bit. This is the biggest bowl of the whole recipe here. We're going to incorporate everything into this bowl, so make sure you transfer that chocolate to the biggest bowl you have. All right, so let's put 1/3 of that whipped cream into the chocolate mixture. At this point, the chocolate's heavier than the cream, so it's going to deflate the cream a little bit. That's okay. And we're lightening that chocolate up. When you see no more streaks of white, that's when we're gonna add another batch of our whipped cream. And now we're really gonna start to fold. So folding is different than stirring. Stirring is just running it around the bowl quickly. When you fold, you're actually going to sort of drop the ingredients on top of each other as opposed to beating them together. And you'll notice I'm turning the bowl as I do this to make it easier and to make sure everything gets incorporated without getting crushed. Okay, last batch of cream now. I'm gonna leave just a little bit of the cream left over to garnish the top of the mousse. And you'll see it looks a lot lighter at this point. It's starting to look more and more like chocolate mousse. All we need to do now is incorporate those egg whites into it. So again, we're gonna do this all in one batch, folding it in instead of really stirring or beating it in. Now the egg whites are what's going to give this mousse some shape. You chill it in the fridge, the egg whites will stiffen and the mousse will retain that light, airy structure. So once you see no more streaks of white, it's ready to go. Just get yourself a glass and start loading them up. So pretty. Smooth it out. You can bang it on the counter a little bit if you want, just to level out that surface, and then a little bit of that cream that you had left over right on top. Garnish it with a little bit of grated chocolate and you're good to go. That's an easy dessert. 4 ingredients, couldn't be better. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of the basics, click over here. If you'd like to learn about the tools I use for this recipe, click over here. And if you have any comments or suggestions for more basics, put them in the comment section below.